All right, y'all. Forrest Gump done caught the Wuflu. You guys think I'm funny, but I get a lot of my jokes from my subscribers. Somebody in the comment section a few days ago was like, you should call it the Wuflu. I'm gonna give them credit because that shit was funny. Like when I don't get to read all the comments. Oh my god, my nose is itching. I don't get to read all the comments, and I'm debating whether I should give limited time to doing that because it just takes up a lot of my time that I really need for other things at the moment. But I love, like, you know, I'll give people advice, I'll read the comments, they'll make me laugh, and then I'll go off on trolls. I like trolling back other trolls. So but it just, you know, it's very time consuming. But anyway, thank you for that, because that made my day. That made me laugh. That was so funny. So yeah, like, I'm gonna believe that actors aren't acting in the situation and didn't get the, you know, coronavirus. Even if the Olympics are canceled, you guys, even they just canceled basketball. You know, you guys, for those of you guys who are like on the fence, you guys should look into the Bilderberg group. It's a group that meets every year, and it's in violation of the Logan Act. And these people meet with foreign governments and tech industry and people in Hollywood. So it's easy for them to plan something like this, right? They're not losing money. They have their own, like, I'm more worried about the economy and how, you know, they're shutting things down. But they're shutting things down to make this more serious than it is. And I did a video the other day. I haven't put it up, but I might just put this one up instead and tell you the information I had in that video. But I went, you know, my job right now that I have involves working with hospitals. So actually I get screened every day. Every flipping day I get screened. And all they ask me, they're like, do you have a cough? Do you have a fever? Have you been to one of the places that has coronavirus? I'm like, no. So I go to this one place and I'm just like, all right, just ask me the questions. And then I had to realize that I need to stop being bitchy and catty, because those people are just doing their job. And, you know, they're probably even more frustrated than I am. So I've been kind of poking around to see who is believing this, right? Who is really buying into the hype. So I was like, oh my god, this thing is being blown way out of proportion. And they work at the hospital, and they were like, yeah, oh my god, it is, this is ridiculous. And I blew them a kiss. I was like, mwah. I was like, you guys are doing your job. Like, you know, kudos to you. I know you're doing your job. I've been telling people lately, I'm sorry if I'm coming off as catty or bitchy. You know, I know you're trying to do your job, and I know it's not your fault. Because, you know, people do that sometimes. Like, they'll have something, you know, they're upset about something else, and they end up taking it out on other people. So I'm trying to be aware of that. You know, the people, I dog doctors and nurses. The healthcare industry, but I don't really hate them. I hate the system. I realize that they are good people. They want to do good. They're really the most personable people. It draws in a lot of people that are very personable, that likes people. It draws in people, right? Maybe except for doctors, because doctors are like, you know, they have this kind of, some people become a doctor because they have egos, and, you know, that's one of the surgeons, or maybe it was surgeons and doctors, or just surgeons, but that's one of the professions that's associated with psychopathy. And I'm not saying that if you're a surgeon or a doctor, you're a psychopath, but because people give so much of their trust to you as a doctor, if you were a psychopath, you can easily take advantage of that. Does I get that? I'm not saying doctors are psychopaths. I'm just saying that there's certain professions where you have a lot of power, and if you are a person that's hungry for power, you can take that, you know, and be dark with it. Just like if you're a teacher, right? Teachers like children, but so do pedophiles, right? You can be a teacher, but that, you notice the pedophiles are always around places where there's lots of children, like teaching, or like in the church, or Disneyland, you know, stuff like that. Like all those people that just got busted at Disneyland, you know, for child porn. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. So I realize they're doing their job. They're good people. But I think that there are people that aren't buying it, so they're trying to up the levels, right? They're like, oh, well, they're not buying it as much, so hey, Tom and Rita, could you go out there and just like make a tweet that you have coronavirus? Sure, boss. Sure, Illuminati, great one. Because we don't know, we don't have a blood test. Oh, and by the way, if you go to the Truth or Talk Facebook, somebody posted that they called I put the screenshot on that they called the CDC, and they said that they asked them, how are they testing for the coronavirus? And they were like, oh, there's no definitive test for that. And this is what I've been saying. It's like they can count flu cases as coronavirus cases. The people that have been dying have been elderly or been already sick. So it's not killing, even according to them, it's not killing perfectly healthy people. And, I'm sure like Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson will recover, just like the rest of the cases that are getting coronaviruses and recovering, and they're not reporting the recovered cases. You guys, like, they're little anomalies that should make you think, right? Why aren't they reporting the recovered cases? Why are, like, out of even like 100,000 cases all over the world, out of 9 billion people on the planet, is nothing, okay? There are more people that have autism. For you, do you have vaccine injured parents and stuff out there? Like, you should be mad at the fact that they're caring about 15 people that have supposedly, allegedly died of the coronavirus, but all these, people that are vaccine injured with their babies have died from vaccines, or they have autism, they don't care about that. That's anecdotal. Yeah, you know what? So is the big CV, the coronavirus stuff. That's anecdotal too. How about that? How about we say that that's anecdotal too? Because until you have a definitive test where we can have, to determine whether it's whether it's real or not, right? Or whether it's solidified that these people have the coronavirus, then I'm just gonna call it like the flu, because I think that's what it is. Okay, whether you think, there's so many theories going around and we don't know. Maybe we'll know one day, but right now we don't really know, right? Whether you believe it was man-made, whether you believe it was the 5G, or I'm tending to learn in China it was environmental. I'm also inclined to learn that they can stage stuff. Chinese people make really good movies. They have really good actors, by the way. So we don't know. We just know what they tell us, right? And my thing is just, they've been caught lying so many times and staging stuff so many times. Like, they tried to start a whole war a few months ago, showing footage and saying that these people, I think it was somewhere in the Middle East, they tried to stage a whole war. Don't forget that, you guys. And they got caught. And had they not got caught, we would have been in another war. So I'm just like, like I said, I'm more worried about the economy. I'm not worried about some boogeyman virus that they don't test for, that they, the best way to screen is basically, ask people if they have a cough or a fever. If you look up the symptoms of the coronavirus, it is comparable to the flu. Why are they suppressing people? If they're really, really concerned about our health, why are they suppressing people that are saying that vitamin C and colloidal silver and other natural remedies can actually protect you against the coronavirus? Why are they doing that? Wouldn't they want solutions to the problem if they're so concerned about their health? Why is the FDA coming out saying they're going to crack down on companies for telling people that? Even if it wasn't true, people should have a right to decide how they want to treat themselves. Everything doesn't have to be in a flipping vaccine or a pill, right? This, to me, it just sniffs of the work of the pharmaceutical industry. They're more powerful than the oil lobby now, you guys. Do you realize that? The CDC owns patents on vaccines, okay? The same people that are advocating that you get vaccines are going to profit from selling vaccines to other countries and other people, okay? So, the studies that say that vaccines are safe are funded by the pharmaceutical industry. Isn't that like called conflict of interest, right? One of the government heads of the CDC, just went, like, she left the CDC and went to work for a pharmaceutical industry, okay, or a pharmaceutical company. There are people that have stocks in vaccines and medicines that work in the government. Okay, so it really would be foolish for you to think that this is just all like happening like they say it is, because there's lots of people that stand to gain from an outbreak like this. It's a perfect way to keep people from convening and getting together. It's election year, and I thought it was very interesting. I didn't want to get into politics on the job with this guy but he was really sharp. One of the guys at the hospital, he's like, yeah, I also see a pattern. He's like, it's also election year. And I was like, yeah, you're right, but there were other people around, and I didn't want to, and plus I was just, we were all trying to do our job, and I was like, yeah, yep. So I mean, of course, the president has to close the borders because he's going to be criticized, and he has to at least appear to do what he thinks is correct. But even I just don't even believe if it was a boogeyman virus. It's too late for that now. I went one place, and this nurse was like, asked me the questions and stuff, and she was standing at the door, and then she was like, well, since you don't got the corona, I'm going to the bathroom. I was like, all right, well, you might as well you better watch the door though, because coronavirus can enter while you're gone. And we were like laughing. Like a lot of people, I've seen people that are supposed to be wearing their mask, and then, which don't work by the way, but they take off their mask, and I see them from far away, and they see me coming up there, and then they put their mask on. They're like, oh, I was like, that's not good. If they did work, that's not going to save you. But they know they don't work. They know that they just have to do their job, and that this is all ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it's like I said, I've been asking people, and I don't think people are buying the hype of the virus, but I think that's also why they're trying to up it. So people would be like, oh, well, it must be serious because they're canceling basketball. And Tom Hanks said he tested positive, and Tom Hanks wouldn't lie, even though he's a pedophile actor. Yeah, he wouldn't lie. And, the CDC wouldn't lie. They lie all the time, by the way, but I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping this will blow over. I know they're gonna try. It seems like they're the leader trying to push this and see how far they can push it. It's the perfect reason to shut down that huge, health freedom march in Germany, right? And then one of my friends that went in Italy, I made one talking about Italy is woke to the engine, and that's my analysis, that because they dare come up against the pharmaceutical industry and refuse forced vaccination in their country. Now all of a sudden they shut down half the country. I just think it's fishy, right? But somebody else in Italy was saying that there's supposed to be some kind of EU vote, and they were supposed to meet in April, but now they're trying to rush it through. And that's another way, them shutting down the country is a way from preventing the Italians to vote on it, or to it's like a distraction. I don't really remember the details. I think I posted that on our Facebook wall too, if you wanna. It's in Italian, but you can translate it. But basically, he was saying he thinks it's also, there are many different agendas that people can get out of this. It's not just one thing, right? Shutting down people, keeping people from meeting and talking to each other, crashing the economy. What are other agendas that you can think of? So when these people meet at the Bilderberg during the summer, which they're not supposed to, and it's just so frustrating because they tell us to follow laws, and they can break them because they're above the law, but that's definitely it's something they're not supposed to do. It's not like they're having a barbecue, right? When you're in a position of power like that, you can definitely conspire and have plans. So that's why government and industry, like large corporations, aren't supposed to meet in secret. And by the way, it was for the longest time there were people that knew about this, because what would happen is they would go and have these meetings, but the servants, like if you're a waiter or if you're a maid or whatever, they would overhear conversations, and they would leak information out to people. They're like, oh my God, they're planning to do this, they're planning to do that, blah, 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 blah. And I saw, so there was this guy who was a reporter named Daniel Estelin, And there was another guy. If you guys know his name, please let me know. He was a white guy. I think his name was Jim something, not Jim Mars. It was another guy. It was he had like gray hair, and he wore a cowboy hat. And he was also like, he also would get information, like people would leak information to him, and he'd start writing about it and talking about it. And for the longest time they denied it because they knew they were on the wrong. They were just like, oh, like, what are you talking about? It's conspiracy theory, you guys are making it up. And then a bunch of reporters started to catch on, and then, you know, because of modern technology with cell phones, people were actually going to that, they would find out the location that would meet, and they would they would get their phones, their cell phones, and they would stand on the side of the road, and they would see people coming up and getting out. They're like, oh my God, this person's here, this person's here. They're not supposed to be meeting in secret. So the word got out, right? And now they spun it, and they're like, oh yeah, we're just meeting, knowing that most of the public doesn't know. So then they put up a website to make it all legit and everything. But I remember back in the day, before, you know, they had a website that that it was secretive, and you know, they weren't, and they're still not supposed to be meeting, but now they just spun it and make it, you know, seem like it's normal, and that it's legal, but it's not legal for them to do that. So they, you know, yeah, so I mean, just think about that, guys. Just think about that. You don't think these guys conspired? A lot of these people, their children go to the same schools. Even in politics, my itching, right? Some of the Democrats and Republicans, they go to the same schools, you guys. I only am, you know, I'm a Trump supporter because I like what has happened to the, you know, I disagree with some of his stuff. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but I definitely disagree with some of the stuff he's done. But I love this country, and I love my fellow Americans, and I'm a patriot. But I also know about the left-right paradigm. I don't like play teams. I'm not like a Democrat or a Republican, and I get people that, you know, think I have conservative values, but they think I'm a total conservative. I'm not a total conservative, and I'm not a Republican, okay? But I just kind of see who I like, who's the best person. I go with that. But I know, or I just don't vote. I haven't voted I didn't even vote in the last election, okay? Probably gonna vote this election. You know, found out some things about Trump that I'm considering, you know. But just the left is so crazy right now, I might just cast my vote, you know, but I haven't voted in years, so... Anyway, this is getting too long. But just think about what I said, you guys, right? Just think about the hype, the panic that they're trying to create, the fact that these people get together, the fact that they're trying to suppress information that can actually be the solutions to the problem, and the fact that, you know, there are more people that die from the medical industry, literally. I put on my last few videos in the links about the coronavirus. They're the third leading cause of death, right? Medical errors is the third leading cause of death. Right, all these people are dying from, you know, obesity and heart disease at record, you know, abysmal numbers. But, you know, 15 people here, 100,000 people on the planet compared to 9 billion people. The fact that they're not reporting the cases that are recovered. The fact that Vietnam has had everybody in Vietnam that got it has had 100% recovery, and they're not recovering it. In fact, people that are sharing that, they're saying that it's fake news and that it's not real and that they must be shut down. Why are they, you know, trying to shut people down that are asking legitimate questions? You guys think about that. Fucking Forrest Gump. I got the coronavirus, Jenny. Really? All right, y'all. I'll talk to you later. Peace, and love. Bye-bye. Mwah.